Will Alex get a shot to start on Saturday?
Yeah, Alex will start on Saturday. Excited for him. He's been in here chomping at the bit, so we'll move on from there.
On the left, Isaiah.
What have you been kind of waiting to see from Alex? Since obviously he didn't win the starting job outright, what have you been kind of waiting to see from him to allow him this type of opportunity?
Yeah, just take the reins, perform like he did in the first couple weeks at camp. Like I said, thought he was in a really good place, and Davis outperformed him in camp at the end, and would love to see him just take the reins and do what he's been doing, through those first couple weeks. And I think he will. He's had a great couple weeks of practice. So has Davis, but obviously got to perform in the game. And excited to see what Alex is going to do. And he's been in here studying his tail off the past couple days, like he always is. But you can see it ramped up even more.
Back right, Ryan.
Watching Claude Mullins runs, how can you compare him a little bit to Hassan Haskins a little bit? Do you see similarities in
Oh yeah, I mean that's the guy we compared him to last year. I always said, like, this dude's Hassan. He runs so hard. He runs physical. But just when you got Blake, you're not going to take Blake out. But the carries he got, he took advantage of. And right now, 15 carries for I believe 153 yards, averaging 10 yards a carry. Just unbelievable. Running hard, running physical, making guys miss, running over guys, running with speed. So blessed and happy that he's doing a heck of a job and doing what we thought he could.
On the left, John.
What do you say to Davis in a situation like this to make sure he's mentally ready if and when you need him?
Yeah, it's a tough situation when the big thing we talk about is taking care of the football and putting it in harm's way. So he was very, he's a great team player. So to watch him on the field, after and celebrate Alex's touchdown and go up there and give him a hug, not much I needed to tell him to hype him up or support him. We'll continue to support him. He's one of the players on our team, regardless of things that happen, ups and flows of the game, adversity. We're always going to support our players, but at the end of the day, we got to put the guys that we think are going to help us win at that time. So for us, Davis he's been awesome. He's been great. Obviously down, not happy about his performance by any means, but definitely still uplifted him in any way.
On the right here, Tony.
Yeah, without obviously disclosing the game plan, I wonder if you could say how the offense shifts with Alex. I think what we saw is sort of more some run option. But
yeah, I'm not going to give you all the keys to the castle, but we have a plan in place for Alex and ready to put it on display.
Does it look similar to how it did, or do you think?
Yeah, I guess you'll have to see.
On the right, Reiner.
Yeah, how hard is it to make a quarterback switch at this point in the season, especially before a game of this consequence?
It's part of the game. You got to make switches at other positions. You got to make switches when guys get hurt. You got to always be ready for it. So there's always a next man up mentality, and we've had to do that in this program, and we're going to continue to do it. So the whole team will gather around whoever's their quarterback and go win as a team. That's the goal.
And how much do you feel like you got enough out, or saw enough from Alex, I guess, in the game Saturday to kind of feel confident about where the offense stands with him at quarterback?
Yeah, we're going to feel confident. We're going to put all we can into whoever's the quarterback, regardless of who it is. So that's going to be our guy, and that's who we're going to ride with.
Dennis.
When have you seen Alex at his best? We've seen these 3 games, but in terms of throwing the ball, what can you tell us about what you've seen from him?
Yeah, he's got great arm strength. The accuracy has improved tremendously and done the things that we think can help us win. So, it's going to take great prep mentally and physically and spiritually this week to get him where we need to be, and I think he'll do that.
Has it been in fall that he's been sharp, or is it more in the spring?
Both. Yeah, both. Fall, spring, summer, all those things. But obviously, we've got to go execute.
On the left, Alejandro.
Given the changes in style that Alex potentially presents, do you feel like you have enough time to install what you want to install with him for this week, or is it a sort of thing that would have to progress throughout the season?
No, we've got it all installed. The offense is ready to go for him, and we've got everything adjusted for him and his skill set.
On the right hand, Jaleel.
Sherrone, any changes on the offensive line?
We'll still compete at center, see who, watch the film. Dom actually graded a little bit better than Kripp, but Kripp made some tremendous plays, but then there's communication things. So for us, we've got to definitely push that envelope to see how we can, make that the best it can be. Felt like they played a lot more physical, ran out the ball. Obviously, when you run for 301 yards, it's a really good day on the ground. So felt that we made some progress there, so we'll continue to push those guys and push everybody at every position to make sure they're playing at their best.
How would you evaluate Alex's arm? A lot of people like to say he's just a runner.
Yeah, I mean, he can throw. I mean, he didn't connect on the deep ball, but you saw that he has the strength to let it go down there. So that takes timing. That throw was all about his footwork, and people don't know, like, if you don't take the right footwork and you're hitched, then the ball gets overthrown. So for him, he knew exactly what he needed to fix, and he was out there yesterday throwing for an hour or so. Tried to tell him, like, dude, you got to rest. You still got to get to the game. So he'll be ready to go.
Did Fred slow on that route? I'm sorry.
Huh?
Did Fred slow on that route a little bit?
Oh, a little bit, yeah. There's part of it was, you know, he trying to find the ball and just got to keep accelerating through it. So that was a two-part to it, for sure.
Austin?
Sherrone, how did Alex handle not winning the job in camp when he was widely expected to? And was there any process of building his confidence back up?
I mean, both those guys, we've said it before, both those guys are great team guys, and he was the first one to pat Davis on the back and give him a hug and tell him congratulations and be there. And his attitude never changed. His attitude never wavered. But obviously he's disappointed. He's a competitor. He's a kid. He wants to be the starting guy. If I was a quarterback and competing for the job, I'd want to do it too. So, but the way he led, the way he acted, the way he presented himself was no different than it is now.
Andrew?
Kind of random question, but why do you think more offensive linemen don't become head coaches?
Interesting. I don't know. They should be. I mean, I think I don't know if it's the perspective of, you know, you're just in the offensive line room, and because I know usually it's you got to be a coordinator, you got to be a defensive coordinator, you got to be an offensive coordinator. So those things are just things that come into play, and I don't really have the answer to that. I'm just going to try the best job I can.
On the left, Anthony?
Yeah, just any updates on Colston Loveland, and also your thoughts on how Marlon Klein and Hogan Hansen played?
Yeah, no updates right now on Colston. You know, we'll just keep with the progress of the doctors and see where it goes from there. But thought those guys played well. Marlon had his best game, 3 catches for 40-something yards, and Hogan obviously had his first touchdown. Hogan's a guy that's just been kind of one of those guys who just worked his tail off, been fearless throughout camp, and you put him in there with the 2s, he's good. You put him in there with the 1s, he's good. He makes plays and just doesn't say anything, just works his tail off. So bright future for Hogan, and he'll obviously have a role as we go through.
In the back right, Ryan?
I know it's only been 2 games, so have you seen much adjustment from USC and how they've approached in their gameplay this year coming into the Big Ten?
Well, I've seen, they're a lot bigger, obviously. Up front they put on some size, some mass. They got different guys in there. A bunch of transfers on the O-line. A lot of guys transfers from their defense. But they're a good football team. I think Lincoln does an outstanding job with the team. He's always been a great offensive mind, and I think Coach Lynn's come in and brought in that defensive background, and they play really good defense, solid team defense. So for us, it's going to be penalty free, take care of the football, and play our style of game.
And do you expect Colston to practice this week, and along with the other 2 guys that left the game with injuries?
Yeah, we'll see what the doctors say. So just let them handle that.
On the right, Aaron?
From the get-go with the quarterback situation, you said you wanted to find someone who's going to turn the ball over, take care of the football.
Mm-hmm.
How does Alex help you in that regard?
Yeah, I mean, when he's been in the game, he's taking care of it. So that's a big piece for us. So continue to do that, and he'll be in a good place.
Tony?
Yeah, I guess sort of a 2-parter. I guess do you guys do you still stand by the decision originally to start Davis? Do you think that the proper decision was made at that time?
Yes.
Okay, and then that's the only part that we remembered up here, so we'll keep going.
All good.
I'll come back to you if you remember. Reiner?
When a decision like this is made, can you go back on it, or do you have to remain absolutely convicted that this?
What do you mean? Can I go back on it?
Go back, can you switch back to Davis? I guess at some point down the
I
line.
think we're just going to try to play. We're going to play the best guy that we think is going to help us win. That's it. Not going to go back and forth. So we're going to go progress to the next game, and take the guy who we think is going to help us win, and that's what we're going to do.
Sure, but from a confidence standpoint with the rest of the team, when if you are going back and forth, what is it? How do you take that into account?
I don't understand what you're asking.
Well, because when the decision is going back and forth, that people are looking at that position as a kind of a leadership position, and so if you're going back and forth between the two guys.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't think we said we're going to go back and forth. Just
Well, that's
Alex is a starting quarterback now, so there we go.
Isaiah?
Riley didn't get his start at Oklahoma, but he also, kind of was a Bob Stoops guy. Do
Mhm.
you have any relationship with him, and what do you think that he learned that you can see from, like, how he's learned from Bob Stoops?
I never was with him at any time at Oklahoma, but you can just see the organization and how he runs the program, and players play for him, players love him. You can see that in him, and I've met him briefly. I think he's a great guy, and obviously an outstanding coach and developer at quarterback, so a lot of respect for him.
On the right, Liz?
Ike made a couple big plays on Saturday, especially as a senior who's playing his first snaps this year. What have you seen from him from a development perspective?
I mean, first, Ike's my guy. Like, they're all, like, all these kids are my kids, but, like, this kid has been on scout team for the past 3 years, and to watch a guy progress and just get better and get better and get better. He changed his body throughout the spring and the summer, and really in training camp you started to see him make plays, and I'm just like double taking. I'm like, is that Ike making these plays? And continually do it. And he did it in the Texas game, made some big plays, stopping the run, and did it in this game. So it was awesome, proud moment, big hugs. Tried to lift him up. He's too heavy for that, but he's definitely progressed in the right way and gave us some depth back there with the D line for sure.
Noah?
What have you seen from Miller Moss thus far in Phil's side?
Yeah, really good football player, man. Accurate, takes care of the football, plays well within the system. Not a runner by any means, but definitely has good arm strength and has a lot of weapons around him and distributes it well and plays well within the system. So he's a really good player.
Larry?
Personnel-wise, what numbers keep jumping out at you, both sides of the ball for USC?
I mean, I'll just go one. Obviously, the quarterback's really good. I think the line is good. Number one, Branch, he's explosive, twitchy, big playmaker. But on defense, I'd say number 6, their defensive end, Lucas. He's a game wrecker that we got to definitely have our eyes on.
On the right here, Aaron?
Is Jack an option at quarterback, or is he just not practiced enough for you to feel comfortable playing?
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll see some more this week about how the healing process is going. So as we get through there, we'll just go with the doctor's opinions on that one.
One more on USC too. The knock against them coming into the league, at least, was them coming from the Pac-12, maybe not being as physical to keep up with Big Ten teams. How have you seen that on film, or maybe improved physicality this year?
Yeah, I mean, I've watched last year, watched this year, watched all the teams that we're going to play that are coming from the Pac-12 to the Big Ten, and I feel like all those guys are suited to play in this conference. So all really good football teams, and they're no different.
All right, we've got time for a few more. We'll start with Reiner.
Yeah, Kirk obviously had an experience in 2021 at ODU making a quarterback switch. How much did his experience in that kind of factor into this decision, and talking to him through that, what kind of insight did he provide there?
I mean, I think just for us, it's who we think is going to be the best to help us win the game. That's it. It's really, I think we've all had to deal with the quarterback switch at some point, and for us, it's who's going to help us win, and that's why we feel strongly that it's going to be Alex right now.
Sorry, Charles, I forgot you. Charles?
No worries. With the offense kind of struggling to find a rhythm a little bit, do we see Donovan and some of the other running backs get involved in the passing game, and do you think that could be beneficial?
I think we'll just, we have a plan that we feel like is going to be good for Alex and the quarterback, and we'll let him feel comfortable and then assert the weapons where we need to from there.
Yeah, and then, with an explosive offense like USC, could you learn anything from Texas and use that this week?
Say that again?
With, USC kind of having a similar explosive offense to Texas, is there anything that you can learn from that loss and use it this week?
I think for us on defense, it's just doing what we do best and making sure we put ourselves in a position to be successful. We can't, you got to learn from Texas and learn from those things, but this is a new offense. This is new weapons, new things, new quarterbacks. So for us, we just have to do what we can to make sure that we don't make the same mistakes we made then.
All right, we're going to go with the last two. We'll go Dennis and then Clayton.
Did you have any conversations with Jaden Davis about possibility of just redshirting, or is there, his camp wanted to do that, or is there a chance that he could potentially?
Yeah, we've never had any conversations about that. We keep it open and we'll go from there.
On the left, Clayton.
How did Andrew Gentry grade out as, getting a lot of time as an extra lineman, and then C.J. Charleston seemed like he made a bunch of key blocks. What is
Yeah. Andrew, not bad. Still got to get better. Still some stuff to clean up, but played played good in that extra lineman role, gave us some power, some thump there, which we needed. I thought C.J. Charleston played outstanding, especially in the run game. He was knocking people's heads off, so it was good to see that, and he'll make some plays in the passing game as we go through. Awesome.